What's up, everybody? I'm back with another Orion Taraban reaction video. I have a few lined up that I really wanted to talk about, so I want to get right into it. Of course, I like to make sure I give the credit to the original content creator, so I'll have a link to the original video in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube. And of course, show your support to Dr. Orion Taraban. He's one of the few therapists out there, male therapists, I should say, that are not like spouting the same feminist rhetoric. That he, along with I would say, what was this? Crap, with Jeff something. I keep blanking on like the last name, Saint Jeff or something like that. It was another therapist that isn't like all female focused or like just. It's definitely Ask a Brother podcast. He's a therapist as well, and is one of those therapists that if you want to seek therapists like that. Typically male therapists that are actually in it to make sure you actually are getting better, so you don't just keep going in and out like a revolving door. This job it actually is to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, as it goes for both men and women, but typically women, because like too many therapists are super feminized, just giving like women carte blanche to validate their feelings no matter how wrong it might be. No, like these are legit therapists. If you need to seek a therapist, you need to seek male therapists that are like this. They, like I said, tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. But anyway, we'll go right into it. Please like the video, leave a comment below, follow me on my YouTube channel and Twitch, youtube.com/talkativecarl, as I stream games, react to video, and review content. And without further ado, we'll get right into the doctor.
I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is Psych Hacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic for today's short talk is let men solve problems. Have you ever been in this situation, gentlemen? I bet you have. The woman that you're dating, or you're married to, comes to you with one of her problems. Maybe she's frustrated with something that happened to her at work. Maybe she's disappointed with one of her girlfriends. Who the fuck knows? But she comes to you with this complaint, and after listening to the inputs of her frustration or disappointment, you begin to very helpfully offer reality-based solutions to her problems. However, when you do, she simply becomes more and more annoyed. Why do you always have to try to solve my problems? I don't want you to solve my problems. I want you to listen. Why can't you just listen and support me? And the man, of course, is thinking, well, what the fuck is that going to accomplish, right? But the woman is absolutely adamant in her position. This is what she wants, and this is what the man is supposed to do.
I had that same experience. Oh my God. This is like I had next that, because, like I said, I got, I won't say not terrible advice, but definitely like, not like reasonable advice prior to me starting dating. It's just that women sometimes don't want their problem solved. They just like somebody to, the guy they're with typically, to listen to their problems. And I bought into that bull crap in my younger years, thinking like, oh, this is how guys are supposed to be. This is the way things are, and it's how you have healthy relationships. And it's such a crock of crock, because it's just, guys are built to solve problems. Typically, girls, they don't let it be known what kind of problems that they're dealing with before they come to their guy. And I've learned fairly recently that if you're with a girl and she has an issue, you as a guy need to let her know, or at least ask her, is this the kind of problem you need me to just listen to, or is this the kind of problem you want me to actually solve before we get anywhere down the line with your story? Because more often than not, it's something that she just needs to be listened to, so that way you'll know how to at least address it, or at least how to approach it. So you don't sit there and stick your foot in your mouth. But as I'm assuming, but we'll get, we'll listen and see what the doctor has to say. But I imagine that he will express that ladies need to know what kind of problems they're dealing with before they go to their man with anything. Because if she actually want her problem solved, then yeah, go to her guy. But it's just something she just needs to vent. You can say you can go to your guy, but in my opinion, I think you need to go to your girlfriends or your mom, some other female that you trust to vent to, because guys aren't your girlfriends, as stated in the title description. He's not your girlfriend. So ladies need to have that presence of mind to understand, at least know themselves enough to, okay, I'm not going to bug my man over stuff that I know I don't want solved. I just need to just chatty. Well, who likes to chatty women? So I better go to women that I trust to chatty. My guy will just naturally going to want to solve it. And if there's another case that need solving in a reality sense, then I'm not going to bug him about it.
Does this sound familiar? Like it's become a social cliche. However, I don't think this is something that your father or your grandfather or your great-grandfather had to deal with. So why has this attitude become so prevalent, and why is it apparently a generational thing? I'll tell you why. It's because of the institution of therapy. Over the last few decades, the institution of therapy and its ancillary industries, the self-help gurus, the relationship experts, the daytime talk show hosts, etc., therapists and their ilk have convinced hundreds of millions of women that listening to a problem is somehow a solution to a problem. And why might that be the case? Like, what could possibly be the explanation as to why an industry that literally listens to problems in exchange for money would insist that listening to problems is the best way to solve them? Like, how could the therapeutic institution possibly benefit from such a belief? I mean, I will leave that to you and your detective prowess to unravel. Now, don't get me wrong, listening has its place. Like, you have to listen in order to understand the features of the problem you're dealing with, right? But, hot take, you don't have to listen more than that. You listen up to the point where you're able to arrive at a tentative solution, and then you execute. You take reality-based action, which is what ultimately solves the problem, or not, and then you troubleshoot in a recursive way until it does.
So that's how guys deal with our problems. If I go to one of my male friends with a problem, they have a solution for me, and that's how I feel better. That's how guys deal with problems. I'm not saying guys don't have problems that affect their emotions or their mental, but normally how we solve the issue is actually solving the issue. I have money troubles. Here's some, solutions with, financiers, or here's some job openings I heard about, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that solves the problem. Or I got an issue with my girl, and like she says, oh, we don't do anything exciting, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, here's some activities that I've done with my girl that she might like, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this solves my problem. So now I feel at ease. We don't just talk just to vent.
This is how I run my consultation practice.
Unless you one of those sissified dudes.
To let anybody know anything, because I never have. But she...
Insisting that listening to problems alone solves problems is a form of gaslighting on the population level. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. This widespread attitude is also complicit in the feminization of men, which is a very serious problem. Allow me to explain. We know that when confronted with a problem, in general, men prefer problem-solving strategies and women prefer emotional coping strategies. So when women implicitly or very commonly, explicitly demand that men forgo their preferred strategies which, by the way, are actually capable of solving problems in reality, and adopt their own preferred strategies, the subcommunication is, I don't want you to act like a man. I want you to act like a woman. And when men concede to this demand, usually out of a misguided desire to give women what they say they want, they grow increasingly feminized.
That goes to show that women don't know what they want most of the time. They go with their feelings, and the feelings are always in flux. And that's why we need like men in the certain spaces in order to give guidance and structure and direction. Left up to most women, things are all over the place. There's no direction. Girls don't know what they want. They say all kinds of things. And the wise women know this. So that's why they lean on certain men in order to give them some kind of leadership, direction, structure, guidance. So they'll have some kind of direction. So they'll at least have some wherewithal on how to move about or address a problem.
And this feminization of men creates all kinds of problems, not only in these particular relationships, but in society at large as well. Think about it. When women implicitly want men to act like women, they typically feel entirely justified in their desire.
Oh, and when you give certain things to women, concede to certain things to women, and it doesn't bear fruit, or they're changing their mind, they will work their way to making it your fault, even though you're just addressing their issues at their behest. Because almost to most women's point of view, almost nothing is their fault. Or they'll rationalize in the delusional mind to make it somehow a guy's fault. Or they'll have girlfriends that'll convince them it's somehow a guy's fault. Or at least somebody's fault but their own.
And why wouldn't they? Remember, the entire therapeutic institution supports the idea that listening and validating is the solution to pretty much every problem of living. And what does this do? It authenticates the female way of solving problems as the healthy way of solving problems in particular. And it communicates that the female way of doing things is the right way of doing things in general. And this, to put it mildly, is an irresponsible overgeneralization. If you appreciate the insights on this channel, I would highly encourage you to get your hands on a copy of my book, The Value of Others. Over the course of 432 pages, over and over again in grad school, female preferences about problem solving and communication and relationships have been mystified as the right or healthy way of problem solving and communicating and relating by the official authorities on the subject, who are overwhelmingly women. And when I raised objections to this in classes where sometimes I was literally the only man present, do you think I changed anybody's mind? Why do you think I had to go to YouTube, guys? Women comprise 85% of the therapeutic profession, and women are over twice as likely to attend therapy as men are. According to some studies, 85% of the readers of self-help books are women. And how...
You know, I saw this on a podcast, and somebody pointed this out, and I think that is, is best describe how men and women kind of approach emergency situations, where women might go to the doctors more often, but guys go to emergency more often. I guess it's kind of like a tribute to guys more adept at risk taking, and girls just more so complain about a situation. Something like that. And I guess you can, it kind of correlates to therapy, where guys don't, I'm not saying guys don't go to therapy, but because this is kind of my mindset, if you want to go to therapy, things gotta be something seriously wrong. It has to be something so dire or mental, like on the verge of a mental breakdown, to warrant going to a therapist or a psychologist. we don't just go, because a lot of, like he mentioned, the past few decades has been like people encourage, like Charlamagne the God, like encouraging therapy. It's all about therapy. It's like it's good for you. It's like it's good for your wallet. Not saying like therapy inherently is a bad thing, but we've been over therapized as a society. People go to it for every little thing imaginable that might be wrong. Not everything needs to be unpacked. Okay? Just because you stubbed your toe doesn't mean you need to unpack it. It's like, how did this make you feel when you stubbed your toe? It's like that is a problem. Like, and girls more often than not are the ones that eat this crap up because it incentivizes girls just to talk. And of course, you're paying somebody to listen to your problems because obviously they're quote unquote skilled at, or at least have the capabilities to listen and dissect certain things. And women tend to go into this field because they just like talking, or they like to do mental gymnastics and mess with heads. So of course they'll go in their fields is like cater to that need. And of course women tend to go into fields that deal with people and not things, as opposed to the men who goes into fields that deal with things and not people. Of course, they'll be more incentivized to get more women to come, so that way females can have somebody to talk to, because either their family or friends are getting kind of sick of listening to their problems. Why don't I just pay hundreds of dollars to go to a person whose job it is to listen to my problems? And of course, they're incentivized to keep you coming back and not actually solving the issue, because this is, great revenue for me. None of this said it ascribes to all therapists, but it's like a significant amount. That's why it's a booming industry right now, because you propagandize to women, because women are typically susceptible to propaganda, to think like this is a good thing for your mental health. And sometimes a lot of these therapists don't tell these women what they need to hear. They tell them what they want to hear to validate their little feelings, and just like have them keep coming back. Like I said, therapy in general is not necessarily a bad thing, but how it's been executed has been not great for society. Because notice how nobody seems to be getting better, even though therapy has been pushed super hard in the past few decades, and society seems to be getting worse, not better. Because I think a lot of these therapists are just telling people what they want to hear, giving all this little fluff. They'll make them feel good. Let's validate your feelings. Everything is about your feelings. It's not necessarily dealing with what you're thinking. What do you think this is about? Here's the solution, so you don't have to keep coming back, so you can have the proper tools in order to address things in life, in your day-to-day.
Many relationship experts and dating coaches and self-care gurus are women and or are primarily talking to a female audience. And how are the minority of men in these fields treated when they have the temerity to speak to men on issues that concern them using strategies that men prefer? We have to conclude that the therapeutic institution and its ancillary industries have collectively become a billion-dollar echo chamber in which women are told what they want to hear. In business, the customer is always right? And as I've said before, making women feel right is big fucking business. However, what is the absolute best indicator of rightness? You have it. Effectiveness. You are right when you correctly predict that certain means succeed in achieving certain ends. But look around. Are relationships achieving their ends? I think you would be hard-pressed to argue that they are. Divorce rates are up. People are dating less often. They're even hooking up less than they used to do. So if a woman's way of doing things is the right way of doing things, and the right way of doing things is associated with these terrible outcomes, Like, I honestly don't know how to square that circle. If these strategies of relating and communicating were right, we should have greater interpersonal harmony and relationship effectiveness, not less. And of course, the most common counterargument to that is the reason we don't is because people aren't doing it perfectly. They're not doing it good enough. But even if we were doing more of it, which we clearly are, we should still see progress in that direction, and we don't. So there's that. Both parties should be getting more of what they want and less of what they don't, which doesn't seem to be the case at all. I'll get to the point. It's a bad idea for women to treat their men like their girlfriends, which is what they do when they expect them to suppress their masculine problem-solving strategies in favor of feminine emotional coping ones. And the most rational argument against this is that it's generally more effective in any domain of human endeavor to play to one's strengths than attempt to transform one's weaknesses. What does this mean? Think about it. You can throw the ball, but you can't catch it. Better to perfect your abilities as a quarterback than spend years trying to compete as a wide receiver. You're pretty, but dumb as rocks. Better to play up your face card than try to join Mensa, right? The time and energy you spend perfecting your strengths will only succeed in making your weaknesses mediocre at best. Of course, it's a good idea to eliminate glaring liabilities, but that's not really what we're discussing here. So, ladies, your man is bad at listening? Who gives a shit? He might be good at problem solving, and he might very well be better at problem solving than you are. And rather than spend all that time and energy in an attempt to transform him from a bad listener into a mediocre one, why not devote that same time and energy in an attempt to transform him from a good problem solver into an exceptional one? Like, a woman who does that is a smart fucking woman. Because if she succeeds, well, she will not only have private access to an exceptional problem solver, hooray, but she will have succeeded in cultivating a complementarity of skills across the relationship that will make it much more likely that the two of them as a couple will be able to handle like anything that comes their way. So, women, if you want to be heard and validated, that's fine. But go to your girlfriends. Go to ChatGPT. Don't take your grocery list to the hardware store, which is what you do when you expect your men to act like your girlfriends. Men's strengths, listen to me, men's strengths lie precisely in direct communication involving reality-based solutions to problems. Intelligent women use men for that purpose. Let men solve problems. It's what they like to do. It's what they're good at doing. This means, ladies, that if you choose to come to a man with a complaint, then you're effectively also choosing to consider his proposed solution and to implement it in reality. Otherwise, you are guilty of treating him like your girlfriend or using him as a receptacle for your emotional ejecta.
And that's a problem. Like, it ain't just girlfriend. I'm treating like this is what I get kind of tired of when I hear from women or even certain guys, feminized guys. That, oh, your husband and your wife or your girlfriend and your boyfriend, they're like your bestest of friends. No, they are not. You meet a girl or you meet a guy, you go on these dates and all this other stuff in hopes to potentially enter a sexualized relationship that will hope to grow into a marriage. A friendship and a relationship are two distinct differences. They serve two different purposes. You don't do certain things with your friend group. Sure, you are helpful with both parties because hopefully you're a decent person. Both parties come with a problem, you try to help as best as you can. But they serve both of these parties serve two different purposes. What I do with my friends is what I don't do with my girlfriend, and vice versa. That's why I cannot stand with, like, because my ex fed this bullcrap to me, like, we're supposed to be the best of friends. No, I'm not. I'm not your friend. I'm your boyfriend. Or you're my girlfriend. Or I'm your girlfriend. I don't treat, like, you shouldn't treat your man as like you would your friend, because they serve two different things. You don't treat your friends the same way you probably treat your boyfriend. You don't do sexualized activities with your friend group, hopefully. You don't like have like just like a fun night out cuddling, watching like, you know, Netflix underneath the covers together. Your friends don't rub your feet. Like they're distinct things that your guy does not do, or so your friends do not do with you that your boyfriend would do. Hence, not your friend. It's your boyfriend that will go out in the middle of the night to go get you that favorite snack of yours down the street. Your friends don't give two craps. If you call them up and you expect them to come all the way down to your neck of the woods to pick up your favorite snack to give it to you. I don't care if they happen to be nearby. They're not going to do that for you. Why would they? So that's what I get kind of tired of hearing, like, oh, my boyfriend, the bestest friend. It's like, no, he's your boyfriend, so he want to make sure that you're satisfied and happy. So, then of course, they'll go the extra mile where your friends will not. It gets under my nerves when girls weaponize the whole term friendship, really, or use it willy-nilly. Just because the word friend is in the title doesn't mean they serve the same purpose.
Let men cook, ladies. Let them mansplain to you. If you can listen, then you just might learn something. Of treating him like your girlfriend, or using him as a receptacle for your emotional ejecta. Let men cook, ladies. Let them mansplain to you. If you can listen, then you just might learn something. What do you think? Does this fit with your own experience? Let me know in the comments below. And please, send this episode to someone who you think might benefit from its message, man or woman, because it's word of mouth referrals like this that really help to make the channel grow.
Yeah. I really like this message, because honestly, yeah, girls need to have the presence of mind to know, okay, this is my man, I have a problem. Now, instead of like, just feelings, think about for a second, okay, I have an issue. Now, I understand it might be an upsetting issue, but if this is something that you need to actually solve, go to your man. That's what he's there for. We are more than happy to solve problems. That's what we have like a propensity to do. We like solving problems. It's something that we just gear towards to. I wouldn't say it's hard to explain, but it's just like an innate thing that guys like to do. We like solving problems. We like using our brain and our hands to like fix stuff. We like to do that. We really like to do that. It'd be very rare to come across a guy who don't like to do it. Very rare. But don't come to your man with just problems. You just want to talk it out. Let's say the guy won't do that from time to time, but you should use that probably sparingly, in my opinion. Like, if there's no access to your female friends or something that's caught up with them, or you don't like, okay, then like go to your guy and at least let him know that there's something I just want to talk about, something I just want to get off my chest, something or other, and hopefully he's not just coming through the doorway from work. So hopefully it's like his day off, he had time to decompress, he's relaxing, and you let him know that it's something you just want to get off your chest and talk about. And that way he's at least mentally ready to be prepared to be bombarded with excessive amount of talking. So hopefully you got like a decent man that you're with, that you trust, we'll be more than happy to like lend an ear, and you already let him know that it's not something that he needs to solve. He can just be prepared mentally. Okay, I just need to listen to. I don't really need to use extra brain power to try to solve anything. I can just listen and take in and just hear out. That's what wise need to do or should do. Anyway, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you all for the next one.